Butch and Bob Show.
World famous Butch and Bob Show right here on WIFO 105.5 FM Big Dog Country Radio. Morning, Bob.
Good morning.
Man, was it a lengthy school board meeting last night, huh?
A little lengthy.
Yeah, lots to talk about there.
A lot of information.
Yeah, lots of information, a lot of important decisions to be made. It'll be interesting to see how that all turns out.
Good luck.
Good luck. Well, we'll see what happens with all that. Yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll just keep following that story as it develops. But we do have a guest in here this morning, here on the world-famous Butch and Bob Show. Bob, who do we have?
I've got Tourism Board Director Heather Altman in to talk about the big catfish tournament this weekend. Always good to see you, Heather. Congrats on you, Tate, making all-region. Truly deserving. Had a great year.
Yes.
Just a great kid. A lot of fun to be around. A good kid.
Well, thank you. We're proud of all of them and our coach. We did kind of have a good year, and proud of all them guys. And like I said, Wayne County proud, Jacket proud.
Yep.
So thank you. But yes, we're here this morning to talk to you guys a little bit about the catfish tournament that's coming up this weekend.
This weekend?
Busy weekend on the Ottawa. Let everybody know that we're going to have fishermen on the water to be alert and look out for them, and respect them as they're fishing, because they will be there for a long period of time in shades and in holes that they will be planning on fishing for the weekend. Again, kicks off Saturday 12 noon till Sunday at 12 noon. Weigh-in will be at 12 on Sunday. Always want to invite the crowd out to come and watch the weigh-in. If there's any fish that the fishermen do not take with them that they want to donate, public's more than welcome to come out and get those. But we kick that off again this weekend. $100 a fisherman, $200 a boat, 2 fishermen per boat. Children under the age of 16 that are fishing with an adult, a paid entry, fish free. So you also have that option to pay a $10 big fish pot that pays out for an additional $1,000 if you catch that big fish. We're going to take 5 fish for the total weight of the 5, and that will be your total weight for the tournament. Of those 5, only 1 can be dead. So we're excited. Again, we have our polygrapher that will be on hand at the end of the tournament to polygraph our fishermen. They like to tell a little bit of stories. You know how the fish get a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger.
A little bit bigger. Yeah.
So we're just going to keep the integrity of the tournament, keep everybody in line. People, come and say this or say that about a fisherman, or, we try to make our rules to fit every fisherman's need. A fisherman has to fish, within 150 feet from another fisherman, and, unless that fisherman's your friend and y'all tie up together and y'all fish together.
You've got to be at least that distance apart.
You have to stay within 50 yards of your boat. You can't tie your boat up and go down the bank to fish somewhere. So we even throw in a protest fee. If somebody wants to complain on another fisherman, you've got to pay a fee, and then we have to evaluate that fee. And of course, more than likely, you'll be polygraphed to make sure what we've been told is. So this tournament's been going on. This is 23rd year of this tournament. It is a good tournament for the Board of Tourism. It's grown. It's outgrows itself. So we know starting Thursday and Friday, our office doors are going to be packed. I will be on site Friday doing the ground setup and things, and I'll have some come out there and register. We're getting some extra packets out, Wayne Feed and Seed, the river landing. We'll take some to Rainier, if people want to grab them, because everybody waits till that weekend, right before the weekend, to see what the river level is.
It's going to be a good-looking weekend.
It is. It's going to be a great weekend. River's a little bit high, but that's an equal opportunity for everybody.
It'll be just a hair over 8 feet during the weekend.
So
not too bad.
That's not too bad. So it'll be a good weekend for fishing. So if you are planning on fishing this, you can go online at waynetourism.com, hit the catfish tournament link, and then go to active and register online. You can be in our office. Our office will be open until 5 o'clock. The rest of this week, you can register there. You pick up a packet, and you can see me Saturday morning. I will be there at 8 o'clock Saturday morning doing registration from 8 to 12. Tournament, again, will be from 12 Saturday to 12 on Sunday. We changed this back probably 4 or 5 years ago from 2 to 12. So a lot of my fishermen are acclimated to that change. So it is 12 o'clock noon on Sunday, and our weigh-in will close at 10 o'clock every night. So Saturday night you can weigh in till 10. If you catch a big fish and you're worried about it dying and want to get it to weigh in by 10 o'clock Saturday morning or Saturday night before Sunday morning. So that's about it on catfish tournament.
That's 12 to 12, right?
12 to 12, yes,
12
sir.
Saturday to 12 Sunday, and you must be in line to be weighed in at
That's
12,
correct.
not 12:01.
No, sir.
Not 12 o'clock and 30 seconds. It's 12 o'clock to get in there and get that fish weighed.
That's it.
24 hours of fishing.
$100 fisherman, $200 a boat. Come and see us. Get registered. Don't miss out on this money. $7,500 first place.
Just contact the Wayne County Board of Tourism and get all registered.
That's it.
Sounds good. Another big fishing tournament for the tourism board. The catfish is always the biggest one.
That's right. That's the biggest one.
Yep.
Big money maker for the Board of Tourism and give out a whole lot of money. Moving on, June 18th, 19th, and 20th. Our community will be taking a large impact with about 250 to 300 kayakers that will be joining us and paddling the length of the Ottawa River. They will be staying at the Martha Puckett Middle School for those 3 days, and they will be venturing out into our community. So we're looking for a lot of small town hospitality. I will be contacting and sending out letters to most of our local restaurants downtown to give them the heads up that these 3 days, be ready for waitressing staff, to the possibility of them being interested in sponsoring Paddle Georgia specials. Yeah. Bragg and Paddle Georgia, it's like every 4 years.
Come through so many times
yes,
a year.
They
now
come every 4
kayakers.
years, and then every 4 years. They're off a year from being in the same year, which is great. So
what's the date on that again?
That's going to be the 18th, 19th, and 20th.
Okay,
that's
that is a Tuesday, Wednesday,
and
Thursday. They'll come and they'll get out at JC Landing. Where do they get out at when they come?
They'll
through?
come in from Applin. So the first night they'll be paddling into Upper County Landing, better known as Gleason Copeland Landing. For our newly named landing, and they'll come out there. We'll pick them up. They'll stay that night with us at the school, and then we'll put them back in at that landing, and they'll paddle down to JC. And then from there, they'll paddle from JC to Paradise, and then they'll stay that night, and then we'll put them in the next morning, and they'll paddle on down to Glenn County. So they'll be.
So they got these 3 stops, 3 nights, and then stay there at Martha Puckett. And I guess they bring a support staff with them. Some
they
of
do.
them
They have
like
family members that
and
travel with them,
yeah.
and bring their luggage and things from town to town. And then, of course, Paddle Georgia has some of those amenities for them also. Our biggest thing is, that hospitality, making their stay great, showing off our town, and having everything for them. We'll have shuttles for them that night that will take them in, back and forth to laundromats, to Walmarts, to CVS, to Walgreens, to our downtown area, to Paddle Georgia's Joe Cook, their leader on this organization, has spoken to Mr. Hickok, Mayor Hickok's He School Show, a special at the movies for them. There's just lots of things that we're going to do to show off our Southern hospitality for them and make them feel very welcome here. But I will be reaching out to businesses and letting them know that, hey, if you want to do a pizza special with a drink special or a meal special for these, we'll have a hospitality board at the home site, which will be the Martha Puckett Middle School. So when they come out and they want pizza, or they want Italian, or they want a steak, or they want seafood, where to send them, what's going on at the restaurant. We'll have their menus there as well. And then we're looking at possibly having some on-site vendors, specialty things. If you're wanting, the bull peanuts, the fruit, watermelon, they will be hosting, Paddle Georgia will be hosting something on-site at JC Landing Wednesday from noon to 4. With a reptile show. So if you're a stay-at-home parent, or your kids need something to do that day, And your babysitter can take them down to the land and let them see what they're setting up down there. They'll have a reptile show. They're bringing in some reptiles, some furs, some things, nature-based things for kids to look at, and that will be sponsored by Paddle Georgia.
And that's
also
on that Wednesday.
That's on that Wednesday
It's gonna
at
be
the landing.
At JC Landing.
And then the rest of the week, they will be in town. So look out for them.
Now, do they
Contact me.
finish up here, or do they go on down to Glenn
No,
County?
they'll finish at Glenn County. They'll
Glenn County.
meet where Omaha meets the coast down there at
Okay.
Omaha Fish Camp. Will be
Okay.
their last stop.
All right.
So we get the pleasure, being a larger part, home to one of the largest part of the runs of the Omaha River. So we get them for 3 nights.
Good.
So we're excited about that. So contact my office, 427-3233. I will be contacting you and sending out letters to all our restaurants and places of interest that I feel like they will be going. So if you have any questions about that or would like to be an on-site vendor, give me a call at my office, and we're looking forward to it. So that will finish us up for June, but we'll be back in to talk about that a little bit closer and sending Bob results from the tournament Sunday night so he can have that for everybody Monday morning.
Bob going to meet him up there and kayak with him down from Upper County to JC
No, I don't
Landing?
think we will get him in that kind of boat. We might get him on a pontoon
Pontoon,
eventually.
yeah, the pontoon
but not
boat,
a
that's
paddle
the boat.
boat.
That's the boat.
We'll have to work our way up to that.
Yeah, the pontoon boat's the boat.
So that'll be it for tourism for the month of June.
So you got the catfish tournament, you got the paddle Georgia, and from the next couple of months,
That's it.
tourism here in Wayne County.
Busy. It's always
Busy.
good to be busy, though.
And of course the tourism which is drawing all these people here is our beautiful Omaha River.
That's correct. One of the biggest draws to our community.
Yeah. The Omaha River with Janet Royal and the folks from the Georgia News Network went down this past week, and Janet are going to have a special feature on the Georgia News Network about the history of the Omaha River, and it'll be featured on Georgia Focus, which we will have on, which normally we air Sunday mornings at 5:30. Now, the one that's going to be done for Wayne County will be not this Sunday, but the following Sunday. But we're going to get that program and air it maybe one day, not next week, but the week after, as one of our Butch and Bob shows or something like that.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great. We appreciate that.
Yeah, and put it on our website. But John came down from Atlanta and went out there with Janet and a few other folks, John Bennett's boat and a few other folks, and it'll be interesting. They were just amazed. Even Mark Tootle, that works, is my IT guy, was amazed at the history of the Omaha River, and he lives here.
That's right. And there's nobody that knows it better than Janet. Janet does a lot for this community with the river and the history of the river. She, from Leadership Wayne, she takes that group out and teaches them the history of the Omaha, and she does it with the student chamber. So hats off to her. We always tell her that we're going to start taking a tape recorder around with her everywhere she goes when she does in-town local history to cemetery history to river history, because that it's all there. It's not written
Knowledge
down.
is in the head, but it
it's
needs
not
to be
written
on
down nowhere,
paper
and
somewhere.
nobody else knows it but her. And we've got to have it.
Gotta have it.
Got to have it.
Yes, sir.
Put it in a book. Do something. We got to have it. We'll publish it. We need it. But yes, she is a brain of knowledge when it comes to that. Which, I mean, it's the way she was raised. Her, she says she don't know half as much as Malvia does, but she does a whole lot and does a great job.
Okay.
Great job for us. So we greatly appreciate her and what she does.
Yep. Looking forward to that show. It's
Yes.
going to be on the Georgia News Network, and then we'll have it on here locally, and we'll let folks know the time.
Appreciate y'all having us today.
All right. Anything
Yeah.
else for Heather there, Bob?
Good to see you.
Good to see y'all. Y'all have a blessed day.
All right. You too. All right. More of the world-famous Butch and Bob show in a moment.
When further treatment is no longer an option, hospice can provide services to manage symptoms and difficulties caused by illness. Emotional, psychosocial, and spiritual care, as well as support to the families and caregivers, are all part of hospice care. Hospice of South Georgia has been a part of the health community in Wayne and surrounding counties since 1998. The professional yet compassionate attention provided by our staff is unsurpassed. Widely supported by donations from the local population, Hospice of South Georgia is the local nonprofit hospice in Wayne County. Our administrative office is located at 1625 Sunset Boulevard, and Hospice of South Georgia accepts anyone who meets hospice criteria, regardless of their ability to pay. Please call 912-588-0080 to speak with someone about hospice care. That was 912-588-0080. We are your hometown hospice, and we are here to serve you. Hospice of South Georgia, working to add life to your days.
Big Dog Country Radio, 105.5 FM, WIFO. We continue on with the world-famous Butch and Bob show here on WIFO. So, Bob, basically, in a nutshell, the school board decided to do more study on the projects that are going to be built there at the high school. Is that correct?
They're just not happy with the bids at all. I just sat there. They want to try to rewrite. It's just crazy. Here's the history lesson. Okay.
Here it goes, y'all. Let it loose, Bob.
No one supported East Blost and Splost more than we do. Okay.
Right. We've always supported the East Blost.
But this East Blost was for education, and it was projected for $30 million.
Mm-hmm.
And before the vote, they went out, the school board, and they formed the committee.
Right.
Now, last night, they tried to say it was a capital outlay committee, but that's not what I remember. It was an East Blost committee formed to help pass the East Blost. And one group that they targeted to please come help pass the East Blost was the members of the Touchdown Club and athletic-minded people.
Mm-hmm, the other booster clubs.
And they were told that there's going to be so much money left over after they build the ag facility in the ROTC that they're going to build. And again, last night they said weight room was never discussed. I'm sorry, I went back. Weight room was discussed. But there's going to be so much money left over, and I got it outlined. I got it underlined, and I look at it over and over in my notes. And this came from the superintendent. This was the quote. There's going to be so much money left over that the only decision that has to be made, and remember, we're going to make the decision, the superintendent board of education, not you, whether we're going to renovate the stadium or build a new stadium. That's how much money they're going to have left over. But what they didn't tell you is in that East Blost referendum was that the first money goes for the overrun cost of James E. Bacon, which unfortunately has gone way above and beyond measure. I don't even want to know what the price tag is right now. They keep saying different figures. But anyway, the bottom line is with these bids that came in for this ag facility and our ROTC facility, they understand that there's going to be no money left over for, you can just forget it. There's no money left. By the time they get school buses and technology and build the ROTC for whatever those bids were, their realization's coming in. There's not going to be money.
But that's less than $10 million for their two facilities, and they're bringing in almost 30. Where's the other $20 million going, Bob?
Well,
give or take a few million.
Technology. But I'm just telling you.
There's a lot of things. There's buses, there's technology, there's maintenance, and there's all this other kind of stuff.
You're talking $10 million for the facilities. You're talking
at the max.
The $5 million that's going to James E. Bacon. There's 15 right there. And by the time you get the technology buses up, there's not going to be money left.
But it sounded like from the school board when they were talking last night that they want it way below 10.
They want it
around 5.
Right. Well, because they went to these other facilities.
Right.
They went to where, I only went to 2. Like I said, the only reason I saw them is because they're right next to the baseball fields. If you go to Ware County and do the baseball game, there's the ag facilities right there. If you go to Southeast Bullock to the baseball game, the ag facilities right there. Well, guess what? They're nice facilities. I asked them, how about, they're less than $3 million. They're not $10 million. So, like I said, the board looked at the realization of those bids last night and just don't believe those bids is what you need. And, everybody knows, and we've said it time and time again, no one's against an ag facility, no one's against an ROTC.
Everyone's for them.
Those buildings are going to be built. The question is, what are they going to be built for? Is it going to be those? And the board members last night said they're not in favor of $8, $9, $10 million for.
No, they want it more around 5.
Right. They want it down where they have money left over to do other things,
or 6 or 7, somewhere along in there.
And one thing, one of those board members needs to understand, they keep talking about, they just want to, without a football program at the high school, there is no cross country, There is no golf. There is no tennis. That's where the money is generated, from the football program. What part of that don't one of these board members understand? They keep talking about they've done enough for athletics. The football program runs the athletic department. That's where the money comes from. And that stadium was built in 1957. It's about to fall apart.
And the weight room is 22 years old.
One board member on the program said it should be condemned.
I know. We had a school board member sit right here and say that JC Stadium ought to be condemned.
So
that old.
It has to be addressed eventually, but apparently it's not going to be addressed with this.
I really thought it was going to be addressed this time because
this is just me. If as a Wayne County, you go out and you pass an ESPLOS that's going to raise $30 million, but you're still now looking at another $5 million increase in your budget. I'm glad the former CFO Tony Williams is going to get involved, because I promise you she knows budgets backwards and forwards. So I think that's going to be a good move personally, and hopefully she'll get to the bottom of some of all this. But I mean,
well, at least they're trying to get to the bottom of everything so they can.
We'll let you listen
tell
to more
the
of
public
that.
no.
But like I said, the superintendent was adamant that the weight room was never discussed at these meetings. I disagree, and I disagree that it wasn't a capital outlay committee. It was an ESPLOS committee, because the purpose of the committee was to go out and help pass the ESPLOS. That's what they asked people to do, and that's what they did. So, but they went out there, and I'll say it again: we don't do exit interviews. We don't ask why people are leaving. Well, I knew Jay Beauchamp pretty good. I know one of the reasons he's leaving, he was told he's going to get a weight room in the new facility, the football. Guess what? He realized it ain't going to happen, so he's in South Carolina. So I'm just telling you, we don't do exit interviews. We don't ever ask anybody why they're leaving, which I don't understand. I mean, you got talented people. You would ask.
Well, you probably do that in private to find out what you can improve on.
Well, they don't do it. I mean, there's no exit interviews at school. People, they just accept the resignation, say, see y'all later. So, but. And I mean, I sit there at that meeting last night. Thankfully, they're not going to go with $8, $9, $10 million. They're going to rethink that, but
they're still going to leave so much money. So it'll be interesting to see once they break it all down where it's all going to go.
Well, maybe the audit report that Tony Williams comes in and redoes, the outside audit, will show you where all the money's going. So.
Yeah. Well, hopefully they'll get to the bottom of it and get things done.
We got a lot more from that. And I said, you can't get it all in a 10-minute. We'll have more from that meeting yesterday, but it was very interesting sitting there listening to it all. But like I said, Jamie Hickox started the meeting as public participation. I said, I don't get a tax bill, but I understand the tax bills are.
Some of them have skyrocketed.
Yeah,
some have gone down, but some of them have skyrocketed. They're all over the place from what I've heard.
I've heard a lot about the coffee shop. They're not real happy with the tax bills.
So I've got a feeling that there's going to be a lot of people appealing their taxes in the next few weeks.
But I think the board's just trying to, like I said, I thought they did a good thing last night. Let's go back and rethink this thing. Let's get this where it's, let's not build a Taj Mahal. Let's just build what's needed and hopefully have some money left over for some other items that are desperately needed. And one thing's desperately needed is something has to be done with that stadium.
It's going to have to be renovated, or or either rebuilt, or whatever the case may be. We had that opportunity one time many years ago that didn't happen. I think we've got the opportunity again if we took it. But once we take a look at all the numbers, once see where all the money's going, and then get a weight room, because you look at the counties around us. Some a little smaller, some a little bigger. We should be on par with them.
And it's not just for the football athlete; it's for every athlete. I mean, every athlete is doing weight conditioning.
Weight room conditioning. Went back when it was built back in 2000 and 2001 and opened up in 2002. That was basically just football using it. Now, just all the athletes practically use it 20 years later, and then try to improve on things around JC Stadium. But try to get a few things done, because you think about how many people are in that stadium during the course of a year. Thousands for all kinds of stuff.
I just said it before and I'll say it again. The people that were on that committee met in good faith and gave suggestions and asked, stated what they thought was needed. And then they were just told, we don't need you anymore. See y'all later. So they don't feel real good about the situation. and they're not real happy with the situation. So we'll see if it can be rectified. But right now, there's a lot of hurt feelings out there, and a lot of people just thinking they got lied to.
Well, we'll see what the school board does. And they're taking a very close look at it. You can see there's some strong here on the interviews. There's some strong opinions, and we'll see how it all works out, Bob. And hopefully, it all works out the best. Okay. Anything else?
I just want to emphasize again, those two buildings, like they said, it was passed in a referendum. They will be built. I mean,
That was the main part of the.
They have to build them.
Yeah, they have to build them.
Right.
I mean, everybody wants them built. It's just
The
within
question is,
reason.
what's going to be the bottom line cost to build
Right.
them?
That was the main two things: the agricultural building and the ROTC. It's just a matter of what they were. Just just take a look and see what other schools have done and what we really need, and then go from there.
And I just want to make clear, nobody on that board is against those two programs.
Well, that's the reason why it passed, because those were the two big projects. But there was going to be a lot of money over that.
They want to see them built. They want to see those two programs have them built.
Definitely.
It's just a matter of what it's going to cost. And looking at the bids that came in last night, several board members said, "No, we're not.
We went around 5 or 6 or 7, not any higher than that.
We're not spending that kind of money."
Yeah, somewhere along in there. So we'll see what happens, Bob. I'm not involved in the meetings or behind the scenes or anything like that, so I don't know all the facts. I just know what the E-Splosh was marketed as and what the monies were going to be used for. How much they talked about, how much the ag building and the ROTC was going to be done, and how much was going to be left over for other items. So we'll see what happens.
These chairs are available. If anybody on that board or superintendent want to come by, or the CFO,
We'd love to have them on there, because Bob and I would love to have folks on here that know more than we do and pass that information along, either from the school board, school superintendent, whatever the case may be. But I feel good about what the school board did last night, and taking a step back and say, we're going to bring in another auditor. We're going to take a look at these figures. We're going to get them in line and go from there. I know what the community's saying out there. You and I hear it all over town. Yeah. So we're going to be interested to see what's going to happen with it all.
I said, Tony Williams is top notch, so I think that's a positive move.
Okay. Sounds good. Looks like they're on the right direction. All right, Bob, have a good day. World famous Butch and Bob show here on WIFO 105.5 FM in Jesup. And it's been brought to you by First Southern Bank, Van's Barbecue, Murphy Builder Supply, and O'Quinn & Associates.